My name is Jonathan Parks, and welcome to Jonathan's Nature Crafts. I must inform you that I do not live in this house by myself, but live here with other people. Sometimes other members of the household may have to walk through areas where I might be recording with other family members on the phone. If you hear any noise like that, please feel free to disregard. We are doing our best to get noise canceling equipment, which may at least keep you from hearing exactly what is being said. Thank you for considering. Well, I'd say for a little moment we come on and you'd find this strange, but even if coffee kind of sits out and loses its heat, gets a little cold if it's home brewed, you know, I drink it anyway because I need the caffeine. So, tell you strange little stories about that, but most people can't drink it if it's like cold or stale. I'll even get it from the convenience store, and if it's so hot that I can't drink it, I'll probably pour enough ice, cold water on it to even make it room temperature so that I can drink it a little faster and get the caffeine sometimes. Find it strange, but that's what I do. You all know that last time around I started working on these two little Kentucky coffee tree cherubs in the last video, and just to kind of continue on with it, I will just work on the little walnut ones, and there was one wing of one of these that I worked on the back of during the last video, so I say that we're going to try to work on those wings a little bit here. Whether or not this is going to be a random talk video, I don't know. But I've already, in between videos, cut out the front of the wing for both the walnut ones, and we're going to kind of work a little time in just to kind of get along the back a little bit and do a little bit of extra work here. Make it so it's going to be just kind of like the kind of work I say we just need it to be. So as for this kind of work, we kind of got a little ways to go, making it so we can like work our ways down and kind of make it so we're going to see. And yes, I forgot to turn this camera down, but yes, I did demonstrate in the last video one of the wings and how we carved them, but I can't remember as to which cherub it was on the Kentucky coffee tree, but we're going to work about that a little bit on the walnut one. And now that we kind of got the camera in position, you can really see how I'm doing it. And you just kind of basically do it the same way with each wing. Just kind of work a little ways along the inside of it and kind of try to get it just in the little good shape where it needs to be. And I say a little work shall kind of make a way up down to us, and whoa, I tell y'all, this kind of work shall inspire a little thing in us. You know, I say kind of work a ways to remove the little bit of extra wood and kind of take it down to where it's going to be just the type of little good piece of artwork that we need. I say this is just working our way along, working inside our faith. I say this is the other one. We're going to try to work along this other wing, try to carve along this line, make it come out a little better. And I tell y'all that it was kind of strange how it is in the mornings now, because sometimes I get up and get kind of tired and, just kind of, have a little phone alarm to get me up. But I'd say I was pretty relaxed last night from my workout at the gym and from praying for those players on the basketball court, that I just finally, got around to making this little thing of a carving to go its own way and see how the little work shall find its way down to us and make us all see what we all just want to see, and how it's going to work little ways to make it so we see a bright little shiny light and come along to it. So that goes for that. Just getting a little wing out of something, kind of doing it. But I say that there's probably going to be other little steps we'll take further along as we go a little bit more about all that we do. I say kind of got little wings coming out just the right shape, checking every one of these, making sure we got them all just as right as we need them to be. And so I say that it's just this way, I tell y'all, working, coming along, kind of coming along all nice. It's just a little ways we do. And I tell y'all little things about what goes on in the school cafeteria, and some things got back to a little bit of a more normal routine today about things, and kind of like work getting back to normal. And I'd say this cherry to me is like the hardest wood I have to carve. Some people say that walnut is harder than cherry, but for me it's kind of vice versa when it comes to these woods, depending on how sharp a knife or gouge you have. And I say I'm digging into this wing, trying to see how little cherub is going to turn out for me. I say, oh, little times in our lives when we see the work as it comes along, and I say there's probably little accidental places where cuts will happen, and we'll kind of get rid of those as we work along to them. That little place where we had a little mishap with the gouge, it wasn't as bad as it could have been. And I say that for this little place, putting little objects in the way and kind of showing how good a little strength and magic can make a little piece come out for you. I'd say for me, sometimes cherry can be kind of a hard wood, but I manage it all right. I work with it all right. I still love to do it and do interesting little magical things with all these little extra woods. And I'll tell y'all that tomorrow is the last night of that creation art and Bible study class I take. And sometime I was in there and somebody asked me what my favorite wood was to work with. I told them walnut. They said, isn't that a harder wood? I told them I kind of like harder woods because they kind of help me get a little more tension out. I always like to work on them because sometimes us sensory people like to have harder things in our hands. And sometimes we kind of enjoy little challenges to our hands because we kind of like to put a little extra strength into things and strengthen our work just to see how better things can always turn out. And so I say for a little work like this, carving things out, it's a good hobby to have. Some of us love it. And I tell you, it like back in the days before I started carving, you know, there were places where I just went out and like played guitar for special churches and special ministries. And well, first of all, I'll say we got finished with that side of this wing. But getting back to what I was talking about, yes, I kind of did that for a while. Played guitar for certain churches and ministries, and I'd say that there were also times when, with some of these ministers who had me out for that, around the time I first started carving wood, I was just getting like a lot of little cuts on my fingers, always getting them sewn up, getting little splints put on my hands to kind of keep me from bending my fingers and making the cuts on the knuckles even worse. And one of those ministers who always loved to have me play instruments at the certain little outreach ministry we had, he said to me about carving, "I don't think it's a good hobby for you." So as of how the little things like that turned out, I say it turned out to be good for me. I know that sometimes some people kind of feared that I wouldn't be able to play my stringed instruments if I was always hurting my fingers, but turned out that playing the instruments and singing and rapping and stuff was just not really the kind of thing that I decided I wanted to do forever. So once it finally came down to it, I just decided that I was just kind of ready to carve a little more, and kind of did that as my hobby for years. And as of when the pandemic came around, finally decided it was probably getting about time to make a business of it. So that was technically the thing that I did. Worked harder about it till I could get it much better. I'd say that we're probably going to end this video pretty soon, and don't think we're going to do the other side of the wings, at least not for this one, but at least I'd say we've done both sides of the wings for most of these, but not for the cherry set yet. There's still a little work we have yet to accomplish for that, but we're going to do it, and we're going to get a little more done as we go. But that's just kind of how we worked about this business. Make it so that we see how our properties come along. Make it so we work it all for good. And I say that I've gotten little types of work done in this way where we're gouging out the little wood for the wing, and there's going to be a place where we're going to make a line on the back to kind of separate the wings out a little bit. So as for now, I say we're probably about to be done. Maybe come back another time and share a little more, because I'll have so much more to say, so much more to do. And just always wanted to say that those of you watching the NCAA championships and things, I say that the tournaments right now, not the championship yet, but it's all going on right now, and I see so much of what's happening and what people are doing and how the teams are playing along. And so I just want to say, whatever team you're going for, you know, I can't really have any preference as to which team wins. I mean, most people in my location, in my neck of the woods, are fans of the Kentucky Wildcats, which lost their first game in the tournament and didn't make it further. And I just never could care less about who wins or loses. I just never go out of my way to watch sports. It just doesn't interest me enough to pay attention to it. But like I said in the last video, I was watching the game at the gym while I was working out and praying for just about every member on the court, praying for their salvation if they don't have it, and that the ones that do share the word with their teammates. So it was all good. It was all easy, and I hope in the best that you all will always keep in touch and keep up with my videos in the long run. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. I hope to see you in the next video. Stay tuned.